Hello and welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. What in this world is on my desk? Well, I'll tell you because I can't keep secrets. I was asked to be a guest designer for the scrap room. And if you followed my channel at all, you know I go on and on and on about how much I love my scrap room kit subscription. I get the flavors of the month with the patterned paper add-on every single month. And I've been doing it every single month since 2018. I love this kit subscription. It really just fits my workflow and it allows me to have new to the market collect bits and pieces of the collection so that I can test it and see if I want more. I love that option. You get 4 every single month and it's amazing. I love it. I can't say enough about it. For the guest design spot, we were given the flavors of the month kits as well as the embellishment add-on kits. And I cannot wait to dig in and play with them. Now, you're looking at this box because we're allowed to bring in things from our space, but I wanted to challenge myself to only use what is in my kit. And then I thought, it's fall. And I love texture for fall. So I'm going to tear this box up and we're going to use some of this corrugated box. Another little tidbit here. You know, I work for the Postal Service and I wanted to share with you, if you're sharing your label at all on video and you're wanting to keep your address private, you want to make sure that you are getting rid of the barcode and the QR code because all of your private personal information is embedded in that QR code as well as the numbered barcode. So I wanted to share that. Some third-party vendors, postage vendors, have the QR code at the top and the bottom. So just be cognizant of that. You want to get rid of any kind of QR code and, of course, the tracking number. Okay, enough about that. I'm going to tear this up. I just wanted to share that with you. The kit that I'm playing with for the layout that I'm going to do is Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze. And remember, the collection, the kit that comes with the flavors of the month only has 3 pieces of patterned paper. I'm going to have 5 because I get that additional patterned paper add-on. So let's look at all of this yumminess. This has all of the layering done for you. It is gorgeous. And when I first saw this collection, this Star of Anise, I thought, that is just so lovely. I'm going to buy some for my kitchen. I have never owned Star of Anise. And when it came in and I sniffed it, I was just like, this is pretty, but it stinks. It smells like licorice. And I'm not a fan of licorice. My husband is. And he was like, yeah, this is what it smells like. And I was like, I didn't know. I did not enjoy that smell. But anyway, I now have Star of Anise. And this side, we've got some floral clusters. Let's say that in English. I have some floral clusters with pumpkins because you can't have enough pumpkins. Come on, you've got to have all the pumpkins. We have this collage, layered collage in documents. And then we've got peeking out these little clusters and some pumpkins. Beautiful. Look at this fall window scene. Just beautiful. And then we have more floral clusters in a much deeper, richer tone. Love, love, love fall colors. I love fall colors. We have a field of leaves, and I'm trying to see what's in the background here. It looks like it may be wood grain. But, I mean, you really have to be looking at it to know, to see that. I think it's like chunks of wood, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong, because I'm seeing text up here. Maybe it's just collage. And then they've got the leaves on it. Beautiful. And then a diagonal green tone-on-tone stripe. We have this gorgeous fall plaid. So neat and pretty. And this side just steals the show. I love these tickets. This is one of those papers that I always say you get a lot of bang for your buck because every single one of these can be cut out separately and can be an embellishment. And I will probably do that. We have a background ledger with pumpkins tumbled all over the background. I love pumpkins. I love pumpkins. And then we have a diagonal plaid in green with a little bit of a yellow thread running through it. Just love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then we received 2 pieces of cardstock, colored cardstock. This is Cartabella, and it is just rich and lovely. I thought they would have 2 different colors, and maybe that's slightly off, but I think these are beautiful. Love this color. Okay. I am going to do something that I very, very rarely do. We were provided some inspiration, and this is the sketch right here. Let's pull it up. This is the sketch that we were provided for this month, and I'm going to turn it sideways and make it into a 2-page spread because I have amazing photos. They're amazing to me. First, let's go through my embellishments. We get a sheet of, this was the embellishment add-on. We got a sheet of rub-ons. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't it just beautiful? That scene right there is just, love it. And then we get, so this portion, everyone's going to get something different because the embellishment bags are divided up. But I received a title out of the foam stickers, and then just a few pieces of the embellishments. And I've also got hidden back here a couple of the brads, these adhesive brads. It's hard to tell what's the paper and what's an embellishment because it's just all laying here. Let's see if I'm missing something. Okay, I think that's all of it. It's plenty. It's going to make a beautiful, beautiful page. I recycle these. Okay, now let's look at my gorgeous photos. So recently I had to go on a business trip, and out the window of my room, I got to see this level. I'm trying to move the photos around so I can show it to you in order. So as soon as I checked in, I was asking the guy at the desk, I said, is it possible for my room to face that ridge? And he was like, let me see what I can do. And he did it. And this is the ridge that I was facing. So you can see this lumber company, and then that ridge. We have a field of canola, and then that beautiful autumnal ridge. It's just stunning. And the color developed the week that I was there, and it just got deeper and more tree. It was just beautiful. Excuse me. I stared out that window way more than I needed to. And then another scene that I could see. This one wasn't as easy, but they had this clock tower and then another ridge going the other way. So I was in the Allegheny Mountains, Allegheny Forest, I think is what it's called. And it's just amazing. Well, then you think it can't get better, but it did. One morning when I was in meetings, I looked out my window and there was fog rising. Oh my gosh. This is like top tier fall drunkenness. I just got drunk on seeing the beauty, and then the clock tower with the fog. So stinking beautiful. Loved, loved, loved staying there. And I miss it already. Okay, now let's figure out how we're going to create this layout. I'm going to use these papers as my bases, of course. I need to create some space here. And let me see if I can get all of this in one shot. Ta-da! I did it. All right, so this is going to be my base. And I am going to use, let's see, the green. I'm going to use this turn this way. And I'm going to cut it, I believe I'm going to do 5 inches. It may be 4.5. I'll decide when we get there. But I'm going to create my banners going this direction across, and I'll have 2 of those. I think I want a little bit left over so that I can fussy cut some of those leaves out. I believe that's the direction I want to do that. And I want, so let's look at the sketch real quick. I think this square back here in the back, I believe that's going to be about an 8 by 8. That's what it looks like to me. I'm going to make mine 10 by 10 because I want it to take up a little more substantial space. And I'm going to use these 2 pieces to create my base, that square. The thing that's giving me continuity for this layout is that I'm going to have this paper continuing across, and that's going to be on both layouts, and my background is going to be the same. That's going to provide that continuity and make it look like it all blends and works together. And then I will have these 2 featured. And I believe my layout, my photos, so unorganized here. I keep throwing things down on top of each other. I think I'm just going to have my photos to go this way. So it's completely, that portion is very, very different from the sketch, but the base is the sketch. It's just turned. Okay, I'm going to pause and do my basic cuts. Nothing alarming or surprising here. I'm just going to do my basic cuts, get my background laid down, and then I'll come back. I decided to change my mind just a little bit. When I laid this paper down and started considering what I'm going to be using, how I'm going to be using it, all of that fun stuff, I decided I want more of this left over so that I can use them as embellishments. So I'm going to cut this down to 9 by 9. And that's going to be fine because my photos are 4 by 6. And it's the 4 inches that's going to be stacked on top of each other. That will still give me plenty of border around because I'll have that extra inch. I may expand it to 9.5. Let me just kind of look at it. I really, really want the, so if I do it 9.5, that's how much I'm going to have left over. And the extra 1/2 inch is, I don't think, going to make a big, let's just go for the 9.5 and call it a day. I'm just being selfish with my paper because I only have one of these, and I want to get the most that I can get out of it. And then we're going to cut this one at 9.5 as well. I trimmed what's going to become my banners at 4.5. I said I would make that decision, and that is where we are so far. And this is what it's going to look like once everything is trimmed down. Now, this is a personal preference. It is not the law. You do what makes sense to you if you happen to scrap lift this, but in my mind, this needs to be on the left side, this needs to be on the right side. And that is kind of what we are working toward. My photos, it's going to be my first day there, and then the day that the fog came in. And then we're going to embellish it. All right, give me 1 second to adhere, and I need to make my banner ends, and then we'll be right back. I have my bases created. This is what it looks like. And I'm sitting here thinking about matting my photos, and I believe I want to use this paper, but unless I cut my photos down, I'm not going to be able to get 4 complete mats out of this paper. So what I will have to do is piece my last one together. And it's completely doable. It is 100% doable. I just wanted to let you know that that's where I am and that's what I'm doing to create my uh, mats for my photos. See, it won't quite fit, and that is a-okay. It's going to work out. But I think, especially, I think that's going to just help them bring it together. So let's get started on that. And my mind is racing the whole time I'm sitting here working, trying to decide how I want to embellish. I typically am a simple scrapbooker, but especially fall time of the year, I want to go overboard. I want to really embrace and bring in all of the fallness. As much as I can get in, I want it. And I'm just eyeballing my borders here. So we have one done. I think that's going to look lovely. Set that to the side and we'll do the next. And this is typically how I do, because I eyeball things, this is typically how I do my mats. I just do it on the fly and then make it work. It's the story of my life, right? Nothing is precise. Well, I won't even say that. I was going to say I'm envious of the people who are super precise, but I'm not. I'm really not. Because even if I had extra time and I wasn't rushed all the time, I don't know, because this is part of my personality, I don't know that I would take the time to be amazing. It's too exhausting trying to be amazing. So I just had a thought. I think maybe, let's try this. So this side is dark. And what if I did a lighter mat on this side and the darker mats on this side? I think that's what I need to do. Yeah, I cut that wrong. I should have... See, this is the story of my life. I have to make and do as I go because I make mistakes. I laid it down correctly and then proceeded to do it incorrectly. I'm going to have to piece together two mats because of how I cut it. And if I had done what I had laid out, we wouldn't be in this situation now, would we? Now, would we? Another option is to stack these photos on top of one another so that you don't see that the matting is not all the way around. I think I need to turn it this way so that the text is, not that you can really tell, but you can tell enough. You can tell enough. Okay. Let's get that lined up. We're eyeballing it. And I'm off camera, so I need to shift here. Okay. Now I need to just create a little bit of edge over here and a little bit down there at the bottom. Okay, I have my embellishments out and I'm trying to think how I want my title placement. Number one, where I want the title placement, and number two, what I want my title to be. And I have this word autumn, but I think I want to add scenes of autumn, maybe. Or we could just go with welcome or hello autumn, and it would be just fine. And that way I stay within the kit. I don't have any other word bits that can be title. So I think that's what we're going to do. we're going to stay with these words. And I think I want to drop this down and make my title up here. I believe that's what I want. I'm going to do probably a cluster here. And then over on this side, I decided with my matting to not mat that portion, and then have my photos stacked in a little more whimsical way so that you really can't tell. And then I'm going to put a cluster here, a little more in with the photos. So we're going to have a title, a cluster here, and then I'm probably going to do a cluster here and then here. And that way we get that more diagonal type look across 2 pages. So that's what I'm considering. I have a little bit of fussy cutting to do, and I'm not going to film that portion because it's monotonous, but I'll be right back. Okay, I have done quite a bit of trimming and cutting, and I have some leaves, and I was very intentional about getting like a couple of leaves joined together and cutting them out. This one wasn't at the corner, and I want that because I can tuck it and still get a lot of layering effect there. I trimmed out some pumpkins to layer and use in my clusters. So I have a few of those in different colors. And I trimmed up, which this is not difficult, this portion. I just cut out some, oh, I forgot to trim that one. I'll have to go back and do it. And I have some tickets to play with, as well as the embellishments that came with the kit. And I tore up my box a little bit. I wanted this white portion to kind of show around. It just adds, it's very subtle, but it adds to the effect. And on this side, the portion that I trimmed out, I crushed those channels. The corrugated portion, I crushed it. It still gives you the texture, but it doesn't have quite the dimension. And I didn't, the reason I don't want a lot of dimension is because of the adhesive that I have that's dimensional. It's not real tall. And when I place these photos on that dimensional adhesive, I don't want there to be an imbalance over here. So that's why I crushed these, and over here it doesn't really matter. Now, let's start putting things together. I know that I want autumn on here, and I'm going to use a rub-on, and I believe we're going to say hello for that. Let me find my scissors. I've got them buried over here. I'm just going to trim that portion out. And full disclosure, while I was on this trip, this kit came in and I started panicking, like straight up panicking, because I'd given my word, and I was on this trip mid-month in September, and all I could think about was because we have a certain time that we had to get the emails and the video uploaded, and all I could think about was, oh my gosh, I'm out of town. I don't have a chance to look at my kit, to plan, to work with it, to get this work done. I've given my word, and y'all know how I am about once I give my word. I try to do my best to keep my word. But it's all worked out. I got home on a Friday, and I had asked my husband to open the box so that I could just have a preview of what I was getting and start thinking through it while I was gone. So that he is such a help to me, and I appreciate him. But he did. He opened it up, made sure that I got photos of the branding strips so that I knew what companies, the manufacturers I had, and photos of the paper so that I could see the designs. And I was able to kind of start visualizing what I wanted to do while I was gone. So that was very, very helpful. Now, we've got that one trimmed out. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. You're seeing this in real time. I'm not speeding anything up. If you've ever played with these adhesive these foam stickers, you'll know that the adhesive is very strong. Very strong. They do a great job. And then we're going to put hello. We're just going to tuck that up there. I have said this many, many times. I don't know that this is something that needs to happen, but I like to have, I just add the heat from my fingers to a rub-on. In my head, that makes it go down better. I don't know that that's actually the case. I do not know. Now, this may be tricky because we have those channels in the corrugation back there, and so it may be I'm just going to take a little more time with this rub-on because that may not come off as well. But I want all of the differences in how the corrugation looks, that and it adds that texture, the differences in the paper backing. I want that torn edge on it. I just love how it looks. I love how it makes a project look. And these Simple Stories rub-ons are wonderful. Like butter. No issues at all. Look at that. Okay, so I feel like this needs to be zhuzhed up a little bit, and we need to add some additional decorations to it to make it a little more dynamic. And remember, I told you these stick real good, real good. So I think I'm going to tuck that under there, and let's see. I want some leaves. Because that is like the whole thing of the thing. It's these leaves. And let's see if we need a pumpkin on here too. So I like filling in this space here at the bottom. And I'm just seeing what sort of leaves I have available to play with, to tuck, and I think that is going to be, that's going to be my title. And we might do the smaller one. Even though it's going the same direction over that way, we could add it down here. And I'm going to have to put some adhesive under that to support it. But anyway, we've got a title cluster, and we have paper bits flowing around. It's time to go ahead and adhere my photos. I cannot tell you how excited I was when I looked out the window. I was sitting there at the desk in my hotel room on a meeting, and I saw the fog, and I was just like, no, no, you're kidding me. How lucky am I to get to see this? Definitely felt very, very blessed. We're going to use this adhesive because I've got edges that I'm going to have to go through and put some dimensional adhesive under. Then I'll go back and add dimensional adhesive behind that and this flower. So I've got to add a cluster to the left, and I've got to get this gnawed out. We're just not going to do that right now. I need to make a cluster here, and let's see, I want to move that a little more this way. Do a cluster here, and then I'll start working on this page. So let's move it out of the way for the time being, and let's focus on the left page. Just trying to see what I have available to play with. I definitely love this. And that could be the beginning of my cluster. Just adding that there. I don't want the green on green. What do I think about that? Not totally in love with it. I feel like I need something to be a base. I need something large to be a base. And I've got the scrap up here. If I use the scrap, which it just kind of blends in with it. I'm pulling out my scraps just to see what I have to play with. So we're going to use that leaf as a focal point and add our pumpkin. The pumpkins just blend in because we already have that art over here. I'm just playing and messing with this on the fly. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just doing what looks good to me. It may not look good to you, and that's okay. It's not looking good to me. Let's try something else. Let's just go a different angle here. I thought about this and then I keep going away from it, but let's try this. That does rest your eye. And maybe do this. This is that's it. That's what I want. What to do with my little green scrap. Here it is. Yeah, I like that. Whew, that was close. I didn't think we were going to solve that one. And I'm too lazy to redo the video, so it is what it is. We're stuck with it. And I want this layout to do those photos justice. That's my main thing. I want these photos to just sing. Okay. I can live with that. Let's adhere this down. I've talked before about scrapping for longevity and scrapping for myself, and layouts that I do for my boys that I want to last them. I don't add a lot of like things that are not archival safe. And the box is definitely not archival safe. So even if my boys decided they want to keep this, which I can't imagine they would, um, it's not really going into the photos. It's kind of separated from it. So that does help that element a little bit. Okay. I will do my adhesive because I can't put my hands on it just yet. My dimensional adhesive. And now let's work on the right side. Okay. I'm going to put down my corrugated piece first, so my box piece, because that will help me know where to place my photos. And because of the very nature of this product, I add more adhesive. I don't know that it's necessary. Once again, in my mind, it is. And that's what we're stuck with today. You're stuck with what's in my mind. Okay, now that'll tell me my photo placement. And I'm going to have to pause and get my dimensional adhesive because I have to add some there. I get this at the Dollar Tree. Our friend Teresa, for her channel is For the Love of Paper Crafting. She is the one that turned me onto it, and it's found in the automotive section at the Dollar Tree. And for the value, you truly can't do much better. And this edge is going to be on top of that, so I don't need to go over too far. I really did not use a lot of dimensional adhesive until I started taking classes. And there are some instructors who love their dimensional adhesive. So it had to participate in the way that I like to and want to take advantage of what I'm being taught. You know, I had to buy it. I had to start investing in it. Okay, we've got that adhered. It is coming together. I paused the video because I wanted to work out how I wanted this to look, and I'm loving that. And I'm going to adhere it because this video is getting long, and we need to wrap this up. So this is what we're going with, and I am going to add my dimensional adhesive here. No, foam sticker. I'm going to add that there, and I'm going to pause again, adhere everything, and then come back. Okay, one of my toxic traits is that when I turn off the camera, I keep doing stuff. And I'm sorry, I did stuff. I went ahead and used my adhesive brads. So here, here, and here. I used up all of the foam stickers. So I've got one here. I have the big title here. And I have the two hearts here. And I didn't show this when I first had my clusters down, but I added a little ticket under this one to make it pop just a little more. I am loving this. I'm loving this layout. And a lot of it has to do with the memory and the photos. I am going to do one more thing because I started feeling guilty that I wasn't sharing my process with you. I'm going to add these rub-ons under here. And I think we're going to call this one done. So I trimmed it out. I just want the pine cones. I didn't want all of the stuff around it, and I want them coming down like this. I want it to go over. Let's get rid of this so we can get a little closer. I want them to look something like this, and I want them to go underneath the leaf like that. But I want it coming off on this green. I think that is just more lovely than words can express. I am not great at sharing my process. I do attempt it occasionally because I have been asked to share more of my process. So I do attempt. I just get involved in creating and forget. I forget to explain what I'm doing and to talk through my thoughts. So that is part of my challenges, just a smidgen. On my channel, one of the things that I do when occasionally when I get my scrap room kits is I talk through what I received, and I also go through and talk about if I'm going to bulk up the kit with my supplies, if I'm going to purchase more, or am I happy with what I received. And I will tell you, for this collection, my normal followers, if you're new here, I am on a low spend, an extended low spend. I have drastically reduced what I purchased. However, um, come Black Friday, if I can find a good deal on this collection, I think I'm going to have more of it. It is beautiful. It is just beautiful. So here we are. This is the completed 2-page layout. I'm very pleased with it. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you're new and have been introduced to my process via the scrap room, welcome. Thank you for watching, and I hope you come back to visit again. We will chat again soon. Bye-bye.